Today we're going to be talking about whether you're able to connect with some specific characters authentically or not. And I often hear that actors are struggling with a certain type of characters. So it might be the characters where you're feeling like it's really heavy duty lifting, and so you feel like you need to pretend. So it might be things like people who are drunk, people who are sick, people who are very different, like serial killers, criminals, anything that's really, really far from who you are in terms of personality or in terms of state of being in the moment. You'll feel like it's a hard and long stretch for you to get there. And yet, the reason why you're an actor, right, is to be able to melt into these characters and into these personalities and experience them and enjoy them and portray them, not even portray them, but be them in an authentic way and to defend them, right? So you really want to be able to actually, even more than regular parts that you can reach easily, you want to be able, for these parts that seem so far-fetched, so far from you, you want to be able to show up for them authentically, right? And the key word here, of course, is authentically, because if it's for acting them or pretending or getting an idea of how this type of person behaves and then just doing it in a fake way, you're not going to fool yourself, not your highest self at least. You might fool your ego though, and you're not going to fool anyone in the audience or in the casting room, right? So the thing is that I see a lot of actors struggle with this because it's really something that you want to be able to do to really transform yourself. So you might have tried to do a lot of scene study or character work classes. You might have tried a lot of things with breaking down the script in ways that are really very analytical. And at the end of the day, you may still feel like that you're actually presenting a character, portraying, performing, rather than really being that person and feeling for them, respecting them, and wanting to defend them, right? So the reason that you're struggling with this is not because they are characters that are really far from you and therefore that you're having difficulty to connect with. The reason why you're having difficulty with it, it's because we're talking about coming at it from a place of authenticity. The reason why you're not able to be authentically connected to them is because you're judging them. You're judging these characters as being wrong, stupid, foolish, etc. Like the list of judgment is long. And when you judge a character, you'll have a preconceived idea of how they behave, how they think, how they feel. And then you'll just try to, glue something on them, just do it without really being them, without having really become them. And therefore, you're going to do it. But again, you're not going to fool your highest self. You're not going to fool the casting director. You're not going to fool an audience. And the bigger the role, the less you're going to fool anyone, right? Because if you need to hold, let's say, the lead role in a show or in a movie on your shoulders, and that role is really, really far from you, and you can't connect authentically with that character, there is no way you're going to have a good time. There is no way you're going to be truthful, free. It's going to be hell for you, and the result is going to be terrible. We got to the root of the problem. It's not because the character is so foreign and so far from you. The root of the problem is because you're judging your character. And let's get a step deeper. The reason you're judging that character is because you are still judging yourself. So let me repeat that. The reason why you cannot connect with some characters authentically is not because the character is so foreign to you, or so different, or it's such a different state of being in that moment. It's because you are judging that character. So you're not actually meeting them. You're not actually respecting them. You're not actually getting to know them. You've got your idea. You've got them put in a box. And because you have them in a box, therefore, you're going to portray them as in a box. You're just going to mimic them. You're going to imitate them. You're going to pretend you're them. But you're not actually becoming them. You're not being them. And by the way, you are that character the moment you start performing, right? You are the character. Who else is? They don't exist, right? So you are the character. So unless you're being that person, you're going to fake that person. And in order to be that person, there is no room for judgment. There needs to be empathy. There needs to be really connect heart to heart with that other soul and be them, discover them, defend them, right? But because you're so preoccupied with your ego and because you're so much judging yourself, you are unable to see that person for what there is, which is another human being with their set of problems, with their set of wounds, with their set of trying to do the best I can. So you're judging them, not just because you're not a bad person, you're not judging them. I'm not saying it's wrong to judge. I'm saying it doesn't work. And the reason why you're judging is because you're still judging yourself. You're still judging the dark spots in your being. You're still judging those stickier emotions. You're still judging yourself, comparing yourself to others. You're still trying to get to a certain result in the audition room instead of actually being there for your character, defending their needs rather than your ego's needs. So because you're not whole and complete and you're judging every little bit of your being, trying to become someone else, trying to become better, trying to become more this or more that, or more like someone else, trying to become perfect when you already are, not accepting exactly who you are in this moment, because you're not accepting, you are not present, you are not in the room. You are judging, repressing everything that you're feeling, everything that your being is made of in that moment. Because you're doing that to your own self, therefore you're not being authentic. Therefore there is no chance that you can be there authentic for someone else. This lack of love, this repression, this judgment, this lack of authenticity with yourself is the reason why that's the only thing you can offer your character. Because you don't know the other version, which is to be okay with yourself, which is to be who you are, whatever you show up as. And the reason why you're unable to do that is because, of course, you've been conditioned, right? You've been conditioned to behave, to think like others, to feel like others, to think like others. Everything about your being is just resisting who you really are. It's the conditioning. You've been raised to be that way. You've been raised to please. You've been raised to be in other people's systems rather than to just rise up in your own and stand into it. Proud of everything that you are, the dark and the light. And I'm not calling it the negative and the positive, right? So in order for you to be able to enjoy the deliciousness of diving into another very different character, diving into another soul, you want to make sure that you're standing straight, whole, complete into your soul. There is no way that you can show up for another character if you're not even showing up for yourself. Because the way you're trying to show up is with the leftovers, with the resistance, with the ego. So you cannot be there with compassion. You cannot be there for them. There's no batteries inside of you that are available for that. Your batteries are not even functioning for yourself, right? I mean, they are functioning, but in terms of resistance, they're not really fully enjoying the perfume of your being, right? So when you can't enjoy the perfume of your being, how could you possibly enjoy the perfume of a character's being, right? You don't have the energy for that. You're off. You're in other people's. You're in the audience's mind. You're in the casting director's mind. You're in the director's mind, trying to please, trying to find out, figure out what they want, trying to be better than the others, right? That's all the result of your resistance, of your conditioning. When all you want to do is to dive into those different souls, to nourish yours with them, to feel the empathy, to feel the oneness, to really be there without knowing what's going to happen moment to moment, because you're actually in the moment, so you can't know, without trying to control how the character will come out, because you are the character and you're discovering as you do it, as you breathe it, as you speak their words, right? So of course the way to undo this resistance, to work through that, is for you to start taking care of your instrument, right? For you to start unlearning all the resistance and waking up your instinct so that you can start being whole, being yourself again. It's not something new. It's not something you have to learn. It's something you have to undo and wake up, right? Please do ask if you have any questions, if this makes any sense to you, and it resonates and you want to start undoing your conditioning and your resistance because you're ready to really feel your aliveness for yourself and for your characters, if you're really done with the struggle and with faking through your characters and feeling horrible and being disconnected to yourself, then reach out, let us know.